Hello friends! Today I want to share with you one of my most recent purchases, which are these POSCA or POSCA paint pens. I've heard them called both ways and I'm honestly not sure how to say it, so please just bear with me. I have seen these around for a while and I wanted to try them, so I went ahead and grabbed a pack of medium-sized ones because it seemed to have the most amount of colors that I could find, which I will for sure be swatching for you in this video on both white and black paper. This whole set that I'm showing you came in one order from Amazon, but you can see that they're kind of sectioned off. So I'm not sure exactly how to divide them because I can't read a lot of what's on the packaging. So I'm just doing my best to show you guys what's included, and I will leave the link in the description box below for the exact listing from what I ordered. So for the pens that were individually wrapped, I just grabbed the pen cap and twisted to get them off, which worked for most of them. I heard about this from a video that I watched while trying to decide what size to get, and I will link that below if you're interested as well. So if you are not familiar with this pen, it is the type of pen that needs to be activated before you can use it. So you can just give it a little shake and then push the pen down to the paper until you see the nib saturated with paint. I wanted to swatch all of these for you, and I'll tell you right now, I have already ordered another smaller set on Amazon because I really did like them. Some of you guys know that I've kind of been on a monoline script kick lately, or maybe just forever, because it is such a classic style of lettering in my opinion. But lately I've been using different chalk markers that I have sort of as like regular markers. I've been using them on paper. I also homeschool, so for spelling I use different colors for different types of letters when I'm writing out our spelling words. And so I've been using chalk markers on like actual paper for that because I really just like the way they write. But they're not really meant to be used on the type of places that I was using them. So I thought that these might be sort of a good replacement. In hindsight, I'm not sure these are actually great for paper either, but I still really like them. Like I said, I already bought another pack, so obviously I really like them. At least like them enough to want to get the smaller size in addition to this pack, so yeah. I will be honest, I don't know a ton about the techniques of like how to use these. A lot of people who use them on YouTube are using them in like illustration, which I don't do a lot of, so there is still a lot that I have to learn. So one reason why I wanted to grab the smaller nib one as well was because as fun as these are, I found them to be a little bit too big for some different types of lettering, which you will see at the end. A lot of the reviews that I saw were using these to fill in like whole entire pieces of paper or, larger areas, so people didn't seem to think that this medium one was very big, but I think it's just a little bit different when you're using them for lettering. So for simplistic lettering, these were just fine, and what I mean by that is the lettering from like what I was doing in the swatches. But at the end, I will show you some kind of interesting art that I attempted to create, and I struggled a bit, maybe a lot, with the larger nibs. You guys know that I had to line them up in rainbow order up top. I'm curious if anyone else rainbow ties as their pens. I just really like them to be in rainbow order. And if you do, I'm curious to know, do you put pink before red or after purple? I've asked this over on Instagram. If you're not following me there, you can follow me at howtohandletter, and surprisingly got a lot of strong opinions, so I'm just curious, where do you put your pinks? So I think one thing that I like about the colors of these is that they are bright, but they're also kind of like a muted tone. Like they're red, but they're not so bright that they don't feel pretty to me still. So I just think they're kind of like a nice in between of like bright and bold, but not like bright and primary, if that makes sense. So I'm definitely going to be experimenting with these some more. I have been writing on things like all over my house, just seeing how they work on different surfaces. And I did order some gesso as well, so I will make a more in-depth tutorial after I have experimented a little bit more with these. So having said that, if you have specific questions, please leave them in the comments below so that I know what kinds of things you guys want to know about these. They're a little bit different than a lot of lettering supplies that I show. A lot of times I'm doing brush pens and these are just a little bit different. So let me know if there's like a comparison that you want or specific questions or what you want to know about them. If you guys want to learn more about hand lettering, I have a completely free hand lettering 7-day mini course that you can join. It is at howtohandletter.com/mini course, or I will leave it in the description box below as well if you want to join there. I know that I get a lot of different questions about hand lettering, and I've tried to put the answers to those questions in that free mini course, because it's super hard to answer every single question with like as much depth as I want to, like explaining the differences between, why I choose this paper or how to hand letter without like buying expensive brush pens. So I just put it all in the mini course. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know, but I will leave it below. And here we are getting onto this piece of artwork that I told you is a little rough. It started out okay, and then as I tried to kind of outline my lettering, the white was just a little bit too big, so it was kind of going over my green lettering. And so I tried to fix it by, well, you can see what I'm doing, but the more that I tried, I feel like the worse it got. But that is just life. Not everything I create is perfect. Not everything I create is even good. And I just thought that I would leave it in here and show you guys, even though it's definitely not what I was expecting or what I was going for. I also added in the something like at the end because I thought like create today almost sounded like I was saying create like the day. But I actually meant create something today, you know, like be creative today. And I honestly wanted to write even if it's awful at the bottom, but I try to keep this channel positive, so I didn't want to add too much negativity. But you know, sometimes what we create is just for the purpose of creating, and it's not necessarily going to be like something that you want to show on Instagram or something that, like, I don't want to say you're not proud of, because we should be proud of the things that we're doing even if the outcome is a little bit different than what we planned on. But I know that creativity isn't about just making everything look perfect. And so sometimes that process of getting to where you want to be is doing things that you're not so sure about. And through the process, you can see what you like or where your natural giftings lie or, you know, what you don't like. And so I feel like that's all part of the process. And I just want to encourage you, if that's somewhere where you have been, like you just want everything to be perfect. I understand. I definitely struggle with perfectionism. And that's just not what creating and what hand lettering and what art is about. And so I just encourage you to create anyway, even if it's not something you want to share with anybody else, that's okay. I actually started an art journal, I think last year, I don't know how long ago, it's been a while. And it's just something where I don't even usually know what I'm going to do in it. I just kind of sit down and try to create, and sometimes ideas come out of that. And even though the process might be kind of messy, it's still part of my process, and it's still how I come up with new things. And that's a question that I get quite often, or at least I used to, about how to find your own style. And a lot of that is just experimentation. So, like I said, just remember that not everybody starts where you're seeing them. They started somewhere else, and the process to get to where they are today, where they're sharing with you, whether it's like YouTube or in person or Instagram, that process, you might not be seeing the middle part of it. And even though I've been lettering for a long time, I still want to learn more. I still want to push myself. And I don't want to let myself just like get comfortable and not ever change. And so sometimes that means creating things that I'm not super excited to share with you guys, but I just thought I would today, and I hope that's encouraging for somebody. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I really appreciate you watching, subscribing, supporting me, following over on Instagram. If you want more like day-to-day or kind of real time, I post a lot on my Instagram stories, so you can follow me there at How to Hand Letter. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget about the free mini course. I will leave the link below. If you are interested in more monoline lettering style, I will leave a playlist for you to watch as well, where you can go through a playlist that I've created that has just more information about creating monoline lettering. So thank you so much for watching, subscribing, and I will see you over there in the next video.